So many people believe in heaven and hell without ever questioning where that belief came from, because it hasn't come from experience. It's come from something that you were told before you could even think for yourself. And the real question isn't really about whether heaven or hell are real. It's more about whether anything that you've ever experienced actually points to them. I'm not here to tell you what happens after death. I'm not here to confirm beliefs. I'm here to look at what is actually experienced and what's added on top. Because everyone has imagined it. What heaven can look and feel like. Peace, unconditional love, connectedness, infinity. And we've also imagined hell. Suffering, torture, an infinite space of isolation and punishment. But have we ever asked and looked deeply at the question, where have these ideas actually come from? And why do we put so much attention into these ideas? Because if you do really ask yourself these questions and look closely, you see that heaven and hell aren't really about what happens after death. It's more an idea that we've constructed here. These ideas, these stories have been created here, whether it's from something we've read or whether it's from something we've heard. And of course, there's always experiences as well. The percentage of people that report experiencing a hell or a heavenly type of experience from an out-of-body or near-death type of experience. So let's look more directly at the experiential part of this, because this is what really brings people into the idea of heaven and hell. Listening to or reading about first-hand experiences of these types of experiences. Now, I'm going to give you my interpretation about heaven and hell based on my direct experience. Firstly, I want to speak about how heaven and hell can be experienced within the mind in your wakeful, everyday life. We all can align and resonate with this. How you can have days where you feel loved, happy, connected, like you don't want the day to end. But you can also feel days of emptiness, loneliness, depression, anxiety, almost like you want the day to end. And you have the contrast in between. So this is the type of heaven and hell that we can experience right here in our wakeful life. Now, through my experiences, in our body experiences, what I often speak about within the private Patreon group is the spectrum of experience. I have experienced enough textures of consciousness, enough layers of awareness, of stability of awareness, to understand that experience can present itself as a spectrum, just like this experience here. You can have experiences that feel heavenly, and you can have experiences that don't feel so heavenly. I'm not sure if I want to say hell. I'm not even sure if I want to say heaven, because These words alone will give you imagery and ideas and stories based off your own interpretation of those words. But for the ease of conversation, let's just say there is a spectrum within experience from my direct experience. But what I really want to explain is that what I've found is that the stability of your awareness greatly determines the type of experience you can encounter. Not only does stability of awareness play a key role, but so does fear, excitement, surrender, trust. I have literally seen that a change in emotion, a change in feeling, a change in stability dramatically changes the experience that you have. So when we speak about out-of-body experiences and how that can happen based on what you feel in the moment, I can't help but see how the same thing happens here in waking life. How based on how you feel in the moment can quickly change the type of experience that you're having. You can be having a warm, loving, connected day, and then something can happen. Something that completely turns that upside down, and then your day can feel ruined. It can feel like the worst day of your life. But notice that within that same day, there was a spectrum within experience. This is what stability in direct experience shows me. Take away ideas, take away thoughts, take away stories, and look at what can actually be seen, what's consistent. And I don't want to deny the feeling of, let's say, home in certain textures of consciousness, where it feels like this is where I'm from. This is where I've always come from. I know this is my home. But there's also textures of experience that can feel the opposite and just as real, where nothing can seem to exist, where it's a feeling of an infinite void of nothing. I'm not saying this to scare you, but notice how the mind will pick up on that rather than the opposite. What I am highlighting is fear, terror can literally cause an experience in an out-of-body experience that can feel like hell. But love, surrender, stability and trust can bring about an experience in an out-of-body experience that can feel like home. A place we never leave. A place where we're from. But just notice how these states can be affected just from how we feel in the moment. So what I'm noticing is no matter how real an experience can feel, I still can't take it too literally. If you think about a dream where you're not very stable, within that dream that can feel like your complete reality until you wake up. And then this can feel like your complete reality. And in my experience, there are other experiences that can feel like your complete reality. So what if heaven and hell aren't actually places at all? But in fact, they are just states that the mind interprets when it doesn't understand what's happening. You see, we tend to believe our thoughts so much and attach to them and attach to the ideas that they create. And therefore, we close a lid on experience and understanding. And what if the problem isn't what happens after death, but more how we relate to experience right now? I don't know what happens after death, but I do know this: the way that we experience reality greatly changes how we feel about it. If this resonates and you want to explore it more directly, my Patreon space is linked below.